UAPs, UFOs, aliens.gov, moms.gov, all this is implementing. But I'm gonna tell you what they gonna do. Now, just basically, bro, like I said, it's all about narrative control. And, you got to control your own narrative. So you ain't got to listen to these folks. Like, a lot of people don't listen to this. But I'm going to tell you, like, it's over for them now. Their time is up. We won the game. It's finna get into, we finna get into a whole nother dimension when it comes to our freedom. That's why it's called 2050 freedom, right? This is why they doing it on July 4th, Independence Day. With the new independence coming, right? This is the reset, the raw and set, right? The sun emerges. The sun is setting. This is new. But this is the restart, right? This is the transformation. This is the threshold that we're going through, right? But I'm going to tell you what they trying to do, which is they're trying to recreate. It's like if you take it's like people doing music. You might take some old song, remix it, and people might forget that song. Some people never heard of it. And you take credit for the whole song, and then people forget, like, dang, bro, this song. Like, some people might remember it, but then you got new people that in the new world, the young kids, and they don't know nothing about it. You just reemerge it. That's the same thing they do with timelines. Like, they might take something that worked back in the day and try it and see if people are still falling for the rinky-dink. Because if you're not learning from the past, that's why they keep people from the past. If you're not learning from the past, you're gonna keep doing the same. You're gonna stay in the same cycle. Just keep repeating the same cycle. So, for instance, like I said, Trump, I don't like saying his name that much like that, because I don't even like giving him no attention like that, because it's over with. They got the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, at the White House, right? Now, if you remember, what that remind you of? They got this whole little cage at the White House in the front lawn, and they got the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, at the front lawn, bro. Like, come on, how ridiculous is that, bro? That's ridiculous. Like, for what? People like, man, bro, what's going on? People are starving out here. It's a recession, damn near depression, stock market crashing, the dollar crashing, war going on. What in the world is wrong with Trump having a UFC fight at the White House? What does it got to do with anything? The Ultimate Fighting Championship, 2050 anniversary, freedom, 2050 freedom, July. They having it on, I think it's they having it on July, what is it? I think July 4th they're having it on. It's July, I think it's July 4th. July, in between them. But Independence Day, right? July, where the, how you say it? Analema. Now look at Analema, it's like an 8, but that's the direction of the sun travels throughout the sky from the whole year. It gives it a figure 8. But at the top is July. If you look at the figure 8, that's the hottest point of the year is July, okay? The hottest point, the Analema, it's called an Analema. That's the highest point of the sun when it travels in a figure 8 and it gets to July. It's the hottest point, right? Freedom. It's the mind, the mental. You get what I'm saying? Like, when the sun rises to its highest point, right? July is it's summer, the hottest time, when things simmer, right? They doing this because, right, then that screams freedom. That screams, you know what I'm saying, your first eye, right? But the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the Ultimate Fighting Championship celebration, right? Fireworks, the fire in your temple, right? I don't want to go down there. It can get deep, but they're gonna try to redo what happened what was that, 1947, President Truman, right? President Truman. Now, if you know about the Truman Show, y'all know the Truman Show is based upon Jim Carrey playing his role, Truman, and Jim Carrey basically was in this false illusionary world where everybody around him was actors, and every time he tried to break out of the matrix of things, these people would try to keep him trapped into the system. You understand what I'm saying? They keep him trapped into the system. Every time he woke up, they try to took him back to sleep. Every time he tried to escape to go to another country, they try to keep him inside. Maybe go another day, Truman. Go maybe next year. Set planning next year. Y'all was trying to put it off, because he wanted to escape the system he was stuck in, right? That's the same thing with basically they used the narrative control, but like I said, now going back to President Truman. Now, it's in his name, President Truman, because around 1947, it was the UFOs. It was UFOs that was surrounded the White House. Okay, now this is around the first time where people was experiencing UFOs, right? People before that, we didn't ever experience UFOs. Now they call them UAPs, right? And if you know, all that was just a psychological warfare on the people, right? To control the narrative and bring people back to this point in time where everybody's on the same timeline. Because if everybody sees the same thing, people kind of filter down the same timeline of things, right? You're not so separated. You're kind of going down the same timeline. Once you look at the same thing, you snap down the same time. It's the same thing like 9/11. When everybody, it forced us to go to war because once we felt like we were being attacked as so-called Americans, right, and we made this 9/11 a certain date and time that we all kind of recognize and celebrate, that made everybody kind of go down the same timeline, go down the same door, go down the same flow of life, right? So that's what timeline regulation is. That's what controlling the narrative is between. If everybody see the same thing, go down the same timeline, agree to the same contract, that means everybody agree to it and everybody is working on that thing. You get what I'm saying? So what they're going to do in this UFC fight, they're going to, I guarantee you. Now, today is, what do we see? June, let's see. What the day is? Today is June 7th. I think Trump's birthday on June 14, 15, like that. Around July 4th, it might happen sooner now, but July 4th. So around July, I guarantee you around July 4th, Trump is never going to have the UAPs at the UFC fight. That's why they named it UFC, UAPs, UFOs. It's the same kind of concept. They want you to, they trying to entangle the words, creating the narrative of the same thing, okay? They're going to have, that's why he been cleaning it up. That's why Trump been cleaning up the White House, having the reflective pool, having the golden ark, building an underground bunker under the White House. So they've been reconstructing the system for the reset, right? That's why we're having the digital dollar, okay? So they're starting the narrative of the story, right? They're giving you they're controlling the narrative of the story, but like I say, also starting the story, right? Restarting the story. This is the first pages of the book. You get what I'm saying? That's why Trump has been put his name on everything. He want his name on the new US dollar, $100 bill. He want his name at the Palm Beach International. He want to change it to Donald Trump International. He want his name on Lincoln, at the Lincoln Memorial. He want his name there. They had to take his name off. Something happened. But this man he's doing what he want to do because he wants to be that president in history. He want to be like George Washington. You know what I'm saying? He want to be like all these other presidents, bro, and he want to be remembered in a way. So, yeah, like I said, they gonna July 4th is the date that they're gonna come out with all this Roman circus. Now, if you know how the Roman circus work, if you go back around the Roman times where they control the peasants, what they do is, when the peasants was acting up and they wanted to break out of the matrix, guess what they do? They throw the Roman circus. That controls the narrative. That's all about narrative control. So they're using the same things they've been using for years on through the media, right? Through the entertainment, through the music, through the radio. It's the same thing over and over. But I'm gonna make a part 3. Man, y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna tell you the rest. I'm gonna make a part 3. Y'all stay tuned. You know what time it is. At 727. Let's go.